first GenXers.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's me. Sorry about that. I forgot to unmute myself. OMalley is with us, or is not with us right now. Hopefully, she'll be joining us later, and everything's okay. But I'm here for now. Uh, so what I was going to open up with is, for those of you who don't know, is a while ago at the All Star break this year, Anthony Edwards was asked about being the face of the league, and he pretty much said, "Nah, I'm good." Like to shorten it, like basically, no, I'm good. Uh, and a lot of people didn't understand it. Well, then LeBron a few days ago follows up on that comment when being asked about it, and tells the media that it's their fault because the narrative surrounding the NBA today is so negative. Why would anybody want to be the face of the league when all they're going to do is get shit on, so on and so forth? First and foremost, bro, like, you've been the face of the league for a while. About the only people shitting on you are fans. Stephen A praises you. Shannon Sharp idolizes you. Like, everybody gives you your due. They just don't say that you're the greatest player to ever do it. And I don't understand why that bothers so many people. Like like he gets his flowers all the time. Stephen A has given LeBron his flowers 10, 15 different times in the years that I've been watching shows like First Take. So I don't in today's day and age and on social media and all that, we're literally at a point where, yeah, a lot of people say negative things about LeBron, but normally if you look under the thread, into the thread of anybody who said something negative about LeBron, either on Facebook, Twitter, or Facebook X, Blue Sky, or anything like that, there's always a list of people in there defending him and calling him a hater and calling him this and that. I can almost guarantee you there's far more positivity that goes on. Nobody's just chosen not to look at that metric, but there's far more positivity that goes on with with LeBron James when he's being spoken of than there is negativity, and his fans almost try to like force it that way, make sure that nothing ever negative is said about our LeBron. Like, no. So like I don't know what this issue is about today's, and then that led to a bigger discussion about today's game, um, and how today's game has been as is just so, like, the coverage of today's game. Brian Windhurst said, like, it's unbalanced, was his quote, that we say far more negative stuff than we do positive. And I'm going to say this. Here's the thing about it. Here's where I'm coming from with it, where I disagree with Brian Windhorst. The negativity that they're talking about are coming from the critiques of the younger generation on their podcasts, so on and so forth. The actual media, they aren't necessarily negative, like, but I'm not gonna say they're not. They are negative, but I'm gonna say it like this: we live in a world where negativity sells. Period. We live in a world where negativity is going to get you 5,000 views. A line like my co-host always says, fuck LeBron, like that's going to get you 5,000 views. And a video praising LeBron is only going to get you to 5 or 10. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's I watched a video a long while ago about the Facebook algorithm. You wonder why there's always all this negative stuff in your Facebook feed. Well, that's what the algorithm does. The algorithm understands, or at least it was taught at some point, that people are more by human behavior, that people are more likely to respond to, interact with, and generate engagement with negative stuff that they see than they are with positive things that they see. And I found myself in the same situation, like saying the same thing to myself, because there's been times in which I've been like, what am I doing? Like everything that I'm looking at, all the comment sections, I'm looking at all the stuff that I know it's going to piss me off before I even go to open it up. And that's the stuff that's what Facebook and sites like that depend on, is that they're going to put somebody's going to put something negative out there, and then you and 8 million other people are going to respond to it, farming engagement like a mother. And so people say negative things. I'll use my own self as an example. One of the most viewed reels from this show is on my YouTube page is the reel of us of me giving my requirements for what you'd have to do to beat out Jordan, who is my number one GOAT. Like what you would have to do to beat him out and become the GOAT. What a player would have to do instantaneously, like a couple thousand views. So you're either saying something, and now the younger generation is caught on to this, because now they're doing that with Michael Jordan. They know that if they say something negative about Michael Jordan, it's going to get engagement. There's going to be people out there running to Michael's defense. I don't get that either. Let me just plain state that. I don't understand a grown man running to another grown man's defense. People can say stuff negative. I didn't watch Jor Plummer, like he was an asshole, killed his father. Look, think what you gonna think. But it don't change my mind. But people in general, like they take that sports talk too seriously, and it sounded to me like these NBA players are too. Because bottom line is, the game was covered just as harshly back in the 80s and the 90s as it is today. Like as far as the critics. Like critics talked mess about Michael Jordan. Critics talked mess about Scottie Pippen. They talked mess about Karl Malone. They talked mess about John Stockton. Critics didn't always speak highly of the league back in the day either. So why do we act like yeah, now, understand, I put it to you like this. Even if somebody was a complete asshole when they were alive, okay, we try our best once they've passed away to not speak ill of the dead. Even if we are speaking the truth. It sucks, because you should be able to speak truths about, but we try not to speak ill of the dead. And so that's why I'm trying to say, like, why is this generation, and maybe viewers out there, y'all can answer this for me. Why is this generation so adamant about killing everything that came before it? Because you can tell me that every generation fights with or engages with the generation before them, and I can believe you there. But I've never seen it like this. I've never seen an entire generation of people actively look to tear down an entire era. People have grown to hate the 90s so much that they legitly want to tear down the 90s, the image of the 90s. You can't do it. We lived it. It is what it is. You can point out whatever flaws in the 90s basketball that you want. We loved it. It was an exciting time to be a basketball fan. And we're still walking around looking for that high, so to speak. And just aren't getting it out of today's game. Yeah, they're more athletic, but that doesn't mean that they're more interesting or better at the game of basketball. Well, yeah, it does mean they're better if they're more athletic and more skilled, but They may be better at the game of basketball, but they're not more entertaining. Hate to say it. Like, yeah, give me a jump shot. Give me a mid-range jump shot. Give me a layup over somebody, over 8 million dudes trying to shoot 40-foot threes, and then the other half a million of them are trying to dunk. Like, play some basketball. And don't get me wrong, I think they do. They do play good basketball. You look at a team like the Golden State Warriors, which we'll transition into right now. They've become a team worth watching after that Jimmy Butler trade. I want to say they're 7-1 with Butler, 7-2 overall since the trade. And man, I'm telling you, like the Dubs. A month ago, me and OMalley sat here and said, "Nah, Jimmy Butler, don't bring him to the Warriors. We don't need him here." Then they traded for him anyway. Then it was like, well, he's here. Let's see what happens. Let's hope he doesn't implode while he's here. So far, it looks like he's going to be a positive impact on this Dubs team. On a returning Jonathan Kuminga, on a tired Steph, like a really tired Steph, that's tired of carrying everybody. And once they put it all together, the Warriors are a team you need to watch out for. They're only a game and a half out of the 6th spot. They could very well work their way up into the 6th spot, 5 spot. I did want to point out something that somebody said, or an inconsistency that I saw with, who was it? With the coverage of the Lakers versus the Warriors. Okay. The Warriors beat the Mavericks by like 20 points. All right. And a lot of people, including people who were praising the Warriors for how they played, kept bringing up the fact that Dallas was down Gafford and Anthony Davis and so on and so forth, which I do believe is impactful. And I don't believe that necessarily the Warriors would have lost, but it definitely is a different game if those guys are playing. But everybody talked about that. But then when the Lakers with Luka, like 2 days later, beat the Mavericks by like, I think it was like 4 or 6 or something like that. Everybody's like, oh my God, the Lakers are championship contenders. Look at them go, man. Yeah. Luka and LeBron, man. That's it. That's the ticket. Same team. Nobody mentions anything about them being down Gafford and Davis and all them other players when the Lakers beats them. Well, man, I saw very few people mention it when the Lakers beat them, but when the Warriors beat them, that was like the primary reason why. I think that people are sleeping when they say the Warriors don't have any size. They're sleeping on one particular thing. I believe Trace Jackson Davis is still with the team, and he's like 6'11". Or 6'10", 6'11". And that kid Quentin Post, when he figures it all out, wow, it's gonna be special. It's gonna be all special because he's a big who can hit threes and stretch the floor majorly. So I'm looking forward to see what he becomes. 100%. Sorry, I'm letting OMalley know. Well, I'll say, but yeah, so like that kid Quentin Post is going to be something nice. He can shoot the three. He needs to get better on the defensive end, definitely. He needs to learn how to be a better help defender and kick a little bit more butt on that side of the ball. But he's a 7-footer with a jump shot and a 7-footer with a 3-pointer. So he could be that stretch 4 that we've always needed, or stretch 4, stretch 5 that we've always needed. I say you keep Draymond at the 5, use Quentin Post at the 4, make him a stretch 4, and then a 7-foot stretch 4. And then you have Jimmy at the 3, Buddy Hield at the 2, and Steph at the 1. I think you're talking about a team that people are going to have to be worried about. Then they also have GP2 coming off the bench, Kuminga, Moody, Brandon Pominski. They're young coming off the bench. Yeah, and Kevin Knox. That's a guy. He came in. He's been playing some great minutes, earned a second 10-day contract. this last week. I'm like, go on with your bad self, son. I think he was like the number 4 pick a few years back by the Knicks. He's a kid that I think in general could make an impact and could end up signing like a multi-year deal if he continues to play the way he's been, because he'd be a great bench player. Think a la Sean Livingston, David West off the bench, when Leandro Barbosa during that 5-year championship run. But let's see, So I tell you, man, just keep paying attention to them, because the Warriors are going to be something special. But I still think that Cleveland is a team to watch with Kenny Atkinson and them boys over there, and of course Oklahoma City in the West, and the Lakers. The Lakers are legit contenders, but I just didn't like the unfair balance of how they portrayed that. So, all right, so I will be back after the break. I have been Dark Lord 100, and I've been bringing you the Classroom featuring OMalley. And yeah. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. This is Broadcast Sundays here on twitch.tv, First GenXers. I'll be back after the commercial block. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. Everybody fall through. These beats gon' pound. Waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I've been real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all out there in TV land or Twitch land or whatever we're doing today? My name is Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. I am the host of the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom, as well as your favorite music show, KD5P. I'm here to tell you about the Live 365 lineup that we have coming up starting on February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. We'll open up Mondays through Fridays with Now versus Then, Deuce, classic episode from the Blog Talk Radio days. We follow that up with an FU Wrestling podcast from Spreaker, starring myself, Double K, and your boy Cole. We follow that up with, again, me, Double K's Classroom, old sports show I used to do, 30 minutes from 6:20 to 6:50. We follow that up with West Coast Bias, myself, OMalley, Duel, and Suave, bringing you sports talk from a few years back. Then we have Now versus Then. That's the centerpiece of our day at 9:35 a.m. with a classic episode of Now versus Then. And every Wednesday at 9:35, you'll get a new episode of Now versus Then, Deuce from Twitch. At 12:45, you'll hear an episode of KD5P, K-Double's fifth period music class that you can hear right here on Live 365 every Saturday night. You can hear a replay of it every Tuesday night at 12, or Tuesday afternoon at 12:45. You can also listen to at 3:20 the Cheap Pop Podcast, followed by NBT Deuce at 5:30. Great episodes. Probably the same episode from the morning. Lip Gloss and Mics has now moved to the 9:05 slot with a new episode of The Classroom on every Friday. And then we close out our night down and dirty, the Kings and Queens of Porn. That'll be every Monday through Friday right here on Live 365. Catch us at live365.com/First GenXers, or you can go to the Live 365 app, look for the First GenXers Radio Network, and that's where you'll find this. All this and more right here on Live 365. Peace. All right, and it's Double K back with you again, host of the Cheap Pop Podcast in the Classroom, also your favorite music show, KD5P, and I'm here to talk to you about the Saturday and Sunday lineup. Last video we did Monday through Friday. This week we're going to do Saturday and Sunday. All these shows will be airing on Saturday and Sunday concurrently till about mid-afternoon, and then we go into two different lineups. On Saturday, Sunday mornings at 12:30 a.m., you get a classic episode of Brick House 2.0. Followed up by Lovely Radio, which is back on the air with First GenXers. And we have Mr. Deacon at 5:15 a.m. Sam Brett Radio now moves up from the 10 a.m. slot to 7:25 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And the 10 o'clock slot now goes to Ms. Optimism, back with us again after a short hiatus. We follow that up with another episode of Lovely Radio at 12:10. And then we get Sam Brett one more time at 2:45. You get about an hour and 15-minute episode on Sundays, and you get a full 2-hour episode on Saturdays. That episode will air right before the live episode of K-Double's fifth period music class on Saturday nights from 5 to 8. Right here live on Live 365, where K-Double brings you some of the hottest tunes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And then we close out Saturday nights with the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast from 8:15 to 11. So on Sundays, you go from Sam Brett to 410 The Classroom. 45-minute episode of an old version of The Classroom that we had over on Spreaker. And we'll follow that up with Dirty Talk 101 at 5:30. And we close out with 740, the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast, another great edition of me and your boy Cole. And then we close out at 10 p.m. with the Sidebar. So thank you for listening or seeing me here on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. And join us on any one of our platforms here at First GenXers and Double KK Double Network. You got 2KK2network.com, my website. You also have the twitch.tv/First GenXers, and you also have Live 365 where you can find us or you're listening to us here. And we also have for those podcast folks over on Spreaker, a place where you can find the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom on podcast. And you can download it and everything. So that's it from me for this week. This time around, I'll be back again with a new schedule as of May 1st. But until then, y'all enjoy this lineup and stay up. Peace. All right, and I'm back. What's up, y'all? So, yeah, I've got the final confirmation. There will be no OMalley tonight. We wish her well and hope that we'll see her again next week. So, first thing we're going to talk about is a little NFL news. And, of course, you guys know with me as a 49ers fan. First of all, let me give a shout-out to Lovely Radio. Thanks for tapping in. Lovely Radio Show, one of our partners here on Twitch. But I want to say we are talking about the San Francisco 49ers trading Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. There's two things that I didn't like about this trade. First and foremost, I don't like any trade that sends Deebo away from us because I personally like Deebo as a player and as a person. So anything that takes him away from us is kind of sad to me. But he requested he wanted to go. He was ready to be out. So sending him to the Commanders is hard because they're an up-and-coming team that just made it to the conference championship last year and could potentially make it back next year and stand in our way of making it back to a Super Bowl next year. So, but Deebo has had some injury trouble as of recently, and so I don't know. Maybe the 5th was the best we could get from him. That leaves the 49ers with Jennings, Pearsall, and Ayuk, and I think they'll look to the draft, potentially free agency, to pick up some extra veteran help, and I believe that kid Cowley could come back as well. So Deebo's traded there. Matthew Stafford was the craziest story to me so far this offseason. That Stafford originally was told that he could seek a trade partner somewhere out there, and that he could, go find his bag elsewhere. And then all of a sudden, randomly in one day, like as everybody was like, "Where's the best place for Matthew Stafford to go?" and everybody's like, "Stay in L.A." Don't know why he wants to leave. All of a sudden, Adam Schefter's like, "Yeah, the Rams and Stafford have talked, and they will now officially restructure his contract and keep him there through like 2029 or some shit." Like, what? How do we go from get me out of here to I'm staying another 5-6 years? So, no, I think it's only a 2 or 3 year deal. I think he's only there through like 2028, 2027, something like that. But still, but it's the right place for him to be. There was no other place that Stafford could have gone that would have paid him the money that he wanted and was good enough to continue giving him chances to win Super Bowls. He's surrounded by a very young cast there that can definitely get him places. They proved that this year, as somebody said, I forget on ESPN, I believe it was Sam Ocho said that they're the only team that gave the Eagles really a run for their money this postseason was the Rams. So I say continue doing what you do out there, Stafford, making the NFC West one of the hardest divisions in football. With the Niners bouncing back, I don't believe this. I believe this was just a blip for Geno Smith, so he should be back. And Kyler Murray and that Cardinals team is going to get better. So the next question is, where's Myles Garrett's going to go? Who knows? Who knows? Please don't land him in Kansas City. That just wouldn't be right. Him and Chris Jones on the same defensive line would just not be right. But there is talk that Joey Bosa may get released by the Chargers, but there was talk of that last year too, and then may be able to be brought in to San Francisco to play opposite his brother. I would love to see that. It would be unfair. Not as unfair as if they had kept Chase Young, because I think him and Chase Young just played well together, considering they had played together in college. But bottom line is, the moves that were made this week solidified a couple of teams. You still got guys like Stafford and Mac Jones out there that are free agents. We'll see where they end up landing. But for right now, the NFL is looking pretty solid. It truly is. So last thing I'm going to talk about before we shut this all down for the evening is the NHL versus the NBA, the All-Star Game format. They both kind of went with a 4-team tournament with the NHL going with the Four Nations format. I believe it was USA, Canada, Sweden, and I believe Russia all had teams. I don't remember if it was Russia or not, but all had their respective teams there, and they played their hearts out. The USA-Canada rivalry is insane. It goes back to like the 80s. They still hate each other and beating up on each other and shit, but made for a couple of good matches in the finale and in the round-robin round. And then the NBA went with 4 different teams, like Shaq's team, Kevin Hart's team, which played the final, and Shaq's team, which was Steph, LeBron, Kevin Durant, I forgot who else, Giannis, I believe, potentially, all ended up winning the championship at All-Star Game. So I personally like the NHL's better, the us versus them type. They not like us, but the us versus them type of format. I prefer the NHL look over. I thought it was far more exciting and got far more people to tune in than what's going on here. But it's a nice try, Adam Silver. I understand that what you're trying to do is you're trying to make the NBA more interesting, All-Star break more interesting, so people will want to actively be a part of it. Football has struggled with that with the Pro Bowl as well. So I understand what you're trying to do, but in general, I don't know. I don't think people were impressed with it. And then you also got to get one of the, like they say, fix the dunk contest. That'll bring a lot of eyes back. I like Stephen A's idea about bringing in dunkers from across the nation or across the world to come dunk in a grand competition. And maybe like you can start it on Thursday and have a tournament bracket that breaks down to then the Sunday right before the game. That's when you have the finals and get the crowd hot before they actually go out and play the games, or they do the tournament things and they play the games in between the rounds of the dunk contest. Like, it would be, make it an all-day event, make it worth watching. I think that would be beautiful. But like Stephen A, the dunkers from around the world, that shit would be beautiful. But I personally prefer the way that the NHL did it. Like the Four Nations games were just all 4 games were competitive, were fun. And we got to see a final that was out of this world. Canada won it, of course. Like they have one of the strongest national teams ever. So yeah, I like the way NHL does it. But NBA, move in the right direction. Keep it going. But I don't know. It's all style. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. So all right, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I normally go about an hour, but no, OMalley, we can cut it a little short. I also got a couple of things to do. I want to thank everybody for tapping in, including Agent K28 and Lovely Radio for tapping in and showing some love. Everybody that tapped in on YouTube, if you just got here, I'm sorry. We're just wrapping up, but you can go back and start this episode from the beginning as soon as I stop streaming. This has been The Classroom featuring OMalley with, unfortunately, no OMalley, right here on Twitch and YouTube. I am Dark Lord 100, otherwise known as Double KK Double. You can catch me next tomorrow night playing a little Madden and in College Football 25 over on the Xbox. I now have a camera so you can see this pretty face. No, I now have a camera so you can actually see me when I play. And yeah, we should be back on the right week. Love you all. Wish you all the best. And I will see you next week, hopefully with OMalley. Peace.